God wants to do more, but he can only do it in a place with him alone. Say alone. Alone. So we can come together and pray, and there's a place for that. But that's birthed out of what happens already with God, you and God alone. And God wants to do more. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And us becoming a house of prayer becomes, your physical being becomes a place where you communicate to God. God communicates back to your human spirit, and you become a house of prayer. I like to say it in my kind of natural vernacular, you become a praying machine that God can tap into. Say a praying machine. He says, one thing I have desired of the Lord, that will I seek. Wow. King James says, that will I seek after. But notice he said one thing. So God needs to be first. And really, much of what God wants to accomplish at the next level in our lives is birthed out of this God first principle. Amen. Time with God is really not that challenging if we make him first. Amen. Say make him first. Make him first. And part of the challenges we run into as humans, and I have to deal with that myself, the schedule of life and things we have to do with our children, our families, our job, getting the children ready, the food, the lunch ready before the day and all that. I get that. I get it. But it works much easier and better when you put God first. Amen. Because what's happening is that we're trying to figure out on our own how to handle stuff on the fringes, if you would, of life, to make sure that's covered, that's covered. If I don't do that, then that ball gets dropped, boom, boom, boom. Got dropped before, I don't want to drop anymore, boom, boom, boom. But if God's not first, you don't get the help that you need. Amen. And in essence, our time with God is about not just asking God, but allowing God to speak to us, even on his own initiative, to get the help that we need to accomplish what God wants to get done in our life, which includes you having an abundant, wonderful life. Amen. Don't ever think that you serving God and walking in God's purpose, you left out. Don't ever think you won't be happy. Don't ever think God won't supply your needs. You obey and following God's purpose. In fact, your most safest, most prosperous place in life is in the perfect will of God. Amen. It's more about what God wants to get done. Please understand this. It's less about what we need to get done. That's really minor. It really is minor. It's more what God is looking for is a yielded vessel. Can I find anybody that will allow me to spend time with me so I can go deep enough? Because the things I'm going to share cannot be shared in the noise of life. I need time that you heard me. We're talking about becoming. I got a purpose to become a house of prayer. Yes. Where God can rely upon to speak to me. And to speak to me is not just like do this or do that. It could be he's doing things. Now I allow him to do things on behalf of me. Especially when I take time to pray in other tongues. God requires us to pursue him to prepare wisdom and understanding. This is our pursuit of God, where we discover what we need in life. Say pursuit of God.